I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know? That or his dudeness or duder or, you know, El Duderino.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Then bring it down hard. Someday.
What are you doing?
Dance off, bro.
Too sexy by far, and I'm
Very shagadelic, baby. Yeah. Oh. Oops.
What do you think of this? You like it?
Excuse us, please.
Sure. Talk amongst yourselves.
No me da prima, winare poco, che capo no me da prima, winare poco.
Wow.
It'll be just another minute. Yeah, a little creepy.
Shady, yes, I'm the real Shady. All you other Slim Shadys are just imitating. So won't the real Slim Shady please stand up?
The feeling of being insufficiently appreciated is a common childhood lament.
to the coast. We get together, have a few laughs.
But you have heard of Captain Jack Sparrow.
What a helicopter.
Why is the rum coming?
That's what she said. That's what she said. No time. But she did. No time.
That's what she said?
That's what she said. Excuse me? That's what she said.
Final count, 42.
Greetings. Dancing Deplorable here. Looks like I didn't time this right because I kind of wanted to watch Axe, and he's coming on right now. So, but I'm trying to get together with my son, and we're gonna chat a little bit about actually probably a lot of things across the board. So I'm kind of waiting for him to. I invited him, but he hasn't responded, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. But things that we have going up, we're going to be discussing things like the show Supernatural, as far as it relates into what is going on in the now versus the spiritual battle that we're all in right now. If you're a believer, even if you're not a believer, but if you're in agreement of being on the good versus the bad, and you're on the good side and you want to fight against the bad, then you found the right place to be. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of talk about a lot of the different things that they covered in that show. And I was talking to him about how much was in actual reality on that show, and versus the made up stuff that's going to get butts in the seat, people to watch, things like that they kind of expand on and do a little bit more with. But that, and we're going to talk probably a little bit about the mud fossils and the things that we're both seeing all over the place. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be going into the ocean, the ocean topic today or not. But I've got some interesting discoveries I've found under the ocean. And I'm going to be hopefully streaming. I'm not sure what days, but I'm trying to get on a schedule and get some things going, because I have 3 or 4 shows that I want to get out there and find out some of get some feedback from everybody out there, and to let people know how easy it is to look and see how much we're living in not so much mythology is not mythology anymore. It's becoming history. So we have a lot of different topics that my son and I are going to talk about. Excuse me. But then I'll also have some other extra shows that I'll be doing, because I have a lot of information, and I got to get this stuff out. This is driving me crazy, you guys. I'm serious. It's driving me crazy. Sorry, I had to take a drink of my Corona. Sorry, I meant Kickstart. My bad. Okay, well, I'm going to bring up, let's see, let me get a picture in here. I'm not even sure if we can do that or not. Let's see. I will bring in, there's there's one lady, her name is Jessie Sabato. And if you haven't heard about her, I would suggest researching her a little bit. She's got quite the story and testimony to share. there's a lot of things going on, and being in the crowd as far as who knows what about what's going on. I know that we all see the news and we're all seeing what the mainstream media says and dealing with Biden and dealing with the whatever, all the things that are going on. I don't really want to go into some other things because I don't want to I'm already going to get a flag probably on YouTube for the videos, but I'm not too worried about it. I have a lot of stuff to talk about, and I need to start talking about it because it's driving me insane. If you know what I mean. I've been following Greenbeard on D Live, and I really like Greenbeard. He is really, really an interesting guy. And if you're not following him, I suggest following him. Greenbeard 117, I believe. He hasn't been on, and I think he's been on vacation for a couple of weeks. But I'm hoping he's coming back here pretty soon. Let me see if my son's popped in yet. No, I don't see him yet. I don't know where he is. Let me see. Son, calling you. Calling you. Sent a stream link. I really like StreamYards. I guess I'll do a little plug here for them. Get StreamYards now. It's wonderful. Hey, I waited because I wanted to see what that sounded like. I've got this new microphone, and it's really cool. Do you like it? Can anybody hear me? Is anybody out there? Is anybody out there? Hello? Hello, D Live? YouTube? Anybody? Hello? Hello? I know you're out there. Oh, and another topic that my son and I will talk about is gaming. He and I, that's the one thing that we've always been able to always communicate and talk about and hang out and have quality time and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. But anyways, we may be talking about new and upcoming games. Comic Cons, we'll probably be talking about that. It's a broad range, and on the side of where I am a little bit more in depth, I'll be doing some don't want to say religious, I don't want to say Bible study. It's not really like that, but I am going to start a prayer I don't know if it's a class. I don't know how you would consider it. Information, discussion. I'm not sure. Well, we'll find some words. Where are you? But that should be fun. And then I had a GoPro, and then I couldn't get it to work. And then I bought another one, and I finally got that going. So I'm planning on doing some live trail, Colorado trails here. We have some really nice trails out in this area. And I'm actually going to do a few winery tour videos. We have quite the eclectic selection of wineries, galleries, vegetable stands, artisan stands. We have farmers markets here in the town that I live in Palisade, Colorado. There's farmers markets all over, but it's just really they have these bikes that you can rent. They're electric bikes, and you can run them on the trails, and it goes Oh, it's probably 20, 25 miles. But it from here, and then it goes to Fruta, and it's an absolutely gorgeous ride. And it's all along the river, the Colorado River, coming off the Rocky Mountains. And I'm going to do a live stream of that give you guys an idea if you're looking for a place to visit that would be, pretty inexpensive, but a lot of things to do outside. This is a place to come. It really is. Plus, if you want to taste real peaches and real corn on the cob, this is where you want to come. We have Olathe corn and Palisade peaches. And I'm telling you, I'm from California, but I did not know what corn was, and I did not know what peaches were until I moved here. And trust me when I tell you that California peaches are absolutely divine themselves. Not even kidding one bit there. But the Palisade peaches, something about the super the edge of the frost, over the winter, that kind of thing. It just really, man, they're so good. And they just sell them in the boxfuls. Oh, it's just so great. At the end of the season, man, you can get them and you can just make all kinds of stuff. And they have places where they make fresh soft serve ice cream. So several places in the valley you can go and get soft serve peach flavored ice cream. There's one very tiny mall that's here in our town, and I haven't been in so long I don't even know what's in there. They actually have a candy store in there I actually saw the other day. But it's an interesting town if you're looking for, like I said, an inexpensive place to come. The crime here really isn't unless you're like right downtown. And if you really wanted to know where to stay, I know all the ins and outs. When you've been homeless in a town that's as small as this, then you kind of get to know, what's the safe places and what is not the safe places. And let you know, I am not homeless now. I do have a place to live, obviously. But I'm looking forward to spending time with y'all. I'm not sure what's going on with my son, but I may just go a few more minutes and then head over and watch Axe to see what he's talking about today, because I'm not really sure. Yeah, nobody's popped in. So, but let's see. Sorry, I had to get a drink there. Let me see if we can bring something to the front here. This is me. I just got my shirt this year, and I wear it everywhere. It's like it's gonna get worn out from being washed. It's so hot. It's been like 100 a lot here. I also have a story time that I'm going to do, and a book that I'm going to read is called Hind's Feet on High Places. And that's going to be an interesting venture. I also may start talking at some point about gold and silver. I've been investing in coins and troy ounces, and getting the info from the person that I go to. She's very informative about it's just like I was just in there a month ago. Okay, this is how silver is going up already. Last month when I went in there, I bought a bunch of silver coins, and quarters were, I think silver quarters were $4. Let me see. Let's see. Let's look here real quick. Silver dollars. No, half dollars. No, quarters. Yeah, quarters were $4 and something last month. And actually, no, it was like 2 weeks ago, because I had special ordered the 2021 1 ounce American Silver Eagle Type 2, which is the brand new style that's out. Let me see if it's over here. Anybody? No, it still says I'm live. It'll probably shut me off later, I'm sure. But yeah, so 2 weeks ago I was in and I paid for. Let me look. Let's see if I can find my paper real quick. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time looking if I can't find it. Okay, I don't see it. But anyway, so it was approximately 4 something. And now it's $5.25. So just 2 weeks ago, silver has already gone up almost $1. From, let's see, on just the quarters. I had a special, I didn't ask her what the ounce prices was. The $40 is above the normal pricing for the silver that she sells in the troy ounces. The reason it's more is because it's a brand new edition, a brand new Type 2. Well, let me see if I can, here, I'll show it to you guys. Oh, this is stupid. I hate this. I hate when it's always listening, right? Okay. Okay, I'm just going to turn the camera on for a minute and I'll stick it in front of the viewfinder. It's a beautiful coin. Let's see if we can do this. Okay. So now we're going to have to start the cam. Okay, so let me go back a little bit. Can you see it? It's not very clear, is it? Go back a little bit more. Anyways, that's the front, and she's got an American flag draped around the back of her. And then the new eagle style is this right here. It's really a beautiful coin, and this is not doing it justice at all. But it's a brand new style of eagle, basically, is what it is. But I suggest if you guys, my son and I have come to the conclusion that I'm going to do the, oops, get that all wet. I'm going to do the precious metals, whereas he's going to do the Bitcoin. He's going to give the Bitcoin a whirl. Man, did I set that all down in water? But I'm also collecting, as I go in there, I have a chunk of money that I spend, and I'm getting quarters, dimes, and half dollars. So, to let you guys know that anything like 1964 and before is going to be silver. So if you come across it, you always want to do, hang on to them. Because like I said, the quarters, a silver quarter is $5.25 right now. You know, and that's not to say that it's going to, last after all this craziness or end of the world or whatever we're coming to. Who knows? I'm not worried about anything. I'm in good hands, and I'm not worried about it. But so I don't like that. Ugh. Stop cam. Okay, so let me bring up a couple of things on YouTube here, kind of give you an idea of. Oh, I know what we can do. Since he's not jumping on, and I'm not sure what the problem is, let's go play on. Let's go play on sorry, on Google Earth. Now, let's see, I've got my share screen. Let me go ahead and pull this up. You can look at my little pod face there. And I think where I'll start with you guys is over, let's just go to Antarctica, because that's going to be one of my shows, Antarctica, just because, yeah, things are coming clear. Okay, well, let me show you what I found messing around and playing around with Google Earth. Okay, where's my doodad? Okay, share screen, share screen, share screen. Why aren't you letting me select it? And why isn't it talking? What's going on? Here we go. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's move down here. Sorry, guys, I'm still kind of getting my bearings around on this other stuff. Let's see. Get that down. Move that down. Too much stuff is in the way. I apologize. That down. What am I looking at? Okay. So why isn't that? Oh, duh. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay, perfect. This is everything. I'm kind of in shock, to be honest with you guys, because everything is working. Why is everything working? I'm kind of freaking out. Okay, that was funny. So if you watched Game of Thrones and you've ever seen the dragon flying at you, here is the Game of Thrones dragon flying at you. Right wing, left wing, dragon head. Ready? Here we go. Body, whatever. Okay, see it? See it? There's the head. See it? Wow. See the head? See the eye? See the eye? Wow. Look at that. Some horns, probably. Yeah, I can show you some freaky shit, man. So I have spent since 2015 following Roger Spur on Mud Fossil University, and he just talks about like the flood fossils, the mud fossils from the flood. But I started following Florida Marquis, and he's okay. I have opinions about people, whatever, for not watching them or following them. But he does have some really good videos. I do recommend if you're interested in Antarctica and stuff like that. He's the one that got me really interested in it, because he was looking at one aspect of it, but I brought in a different aspect of it as far as bringing the mud fossils into it. And wait till I show you guys what I found in Antarctica. And I think I'm going to go with that right now, since my son hasn't gotten back to me. Let me see real quick if he's popped in here, and I do not see him yet. He still may come in. Okay, so anyways, I don't know if y'all know about what's going on with everybody's talking about Antarctica. And if you haven't heard anything about it, then you might want to start researching it a little bit. Like I said, I've been researching it since 2015, and I have just I've had so many questions that it just got to a point to where I just had to turn it off for a while because it was just, I wasn't finding anybody else talking about it. What is going on? As much as I was, anyways. What is going on with this stupid thing? Let's see. But I think I started looking at it in their summertime, which would be November, December, January. And the things that I found was pretty interesting. Let me see if the one thing that I thought was quite funny was, and I don't know if I can even, I don't know if I have, I have some things on my phone, but I'm not sure how I don't have everything linked. So it's kind of strange. But I have it's a, their nipples. Their nipples on a giant. Let's see. Let's see. Some of the stuff I'm not sure where I have it. You know what? Maybe hand claw. Giant person, globe skin, jaw, teeth, buildings. What I found there too, the biggest thing that I found was all the castles and the ramparts and the buildings, and they blur it just enough to where you're still questioning it, but yeah, it's like, well, looking at enough, it's just, it just gets ridiculous. Let's go to this one, because I think this one, this is and if you see me with anything alien, that just means fallen angel. I just didn't want to write it all, because I don't believe in aliens, except illegal aliens that cross the border illegally. So I spent a lot of time just kind of looking at rock stuff. And this one, it's like I said, it's just blurry enough that you're looking at it going, okay, it's obviously a sculpture, statue in the middle of whatever it's in. Is that a throne? Are those stairs? Okay. And if you look at this stuff, you have lines. Okay. It's rock. Okay. We're in Antarctica. Okay. There are maps available, ancient maps that show no ice. So if it's just like, it's incredible, the thickness of the ice. I mean, that's just straight up ice. And there's actually, maybe I should show you some of the videos that I've watched. But just in my research, I kind of go through and just look at rock outcrops. A lot of times I'm looking at things that interest me from a distance. And if you notice down here, over here in the left-hand corner, it says historical imagery from 1985. Now, I don't know if it's cleared so much and the ice has melted so much that they're not showing current, or it's at a specific level. I haven't really found out exactly what's going on with that. But there's a lot of weird things that Google Earth does or doesn't do. And it's quite interesting. And I'll have to look on my phone. I've got it written down. I'll do that another time. But when you go in here and you start looking at where it's clear, where you can actually go in and see a little bit clearer, because some areas are blurred versus other areas. Now, like this little thing right here, this is very interesting because normally they don't show that. And for some reason, I mean, I know the shadows on there, but see, we're still here at 1985. But that's like a little tiny lake there. Okay. Florida Marquee finds a lot of these. But if you'll notice, okay, and just to let y'all know right now, geology is biology. From all the findings that I'm looking at with my eyes, that I'm touching with my hands, is completely opposite of what I was taught at a university here in Colorado, that all these geological terms are absolute bullshit. Okay? I want my money back from these classes because I'm looking at, they're telling me, oh, well, this is chert, and this is marble. Okay, well, I know what marble is. Everybody knows what marble is, but I have a piece of chert in my hands, and it's a fairy. Mythological fairy. Okay? Mythological fairy in my hand. Chert. Stone. Then I have another fairy that's like probably a granite. I'm not really sure. That's what it looks like to me. A type of granite. And it's another fairy. So I have two fairies. Then I found this other creature that the only place I found it is on ancient maps and in the Chronicles of Narnia, and it's a duffel pod. It's a one-footed hopping humanoid, and I have one positive, but I'm assuming the other two that I have are also the same because they're in the same death pose, and they have 1 foot. And I'm going to do some videos specifically on them, things like that. But, and these are mythological creatures too. And then I find birds, okay, like in every shape, size, and texture of rock. So I have a black and white, super tiny, and I don't know what it's called. I have to look it up, what they say it's scientifically. I'm using brackets, whatever, and that they say it is. But I have so many snake heads. I have so many lizard heads that I cannot explain to you what type of lizard they are without saying that I'm questioning whether or not it's a dinosaur versus a creature nobody's talked about or seen or whatever. Then I've also got things like fish heads, sea worms, frog heads, bodies. I have a plethora of whole intertwined snakes. The whole thing, like the body's just completely all rolled up like a snake ball. In different shapes and sizes with that, from very tiny to, bigger than the size of both my hands. And I haven't even, okay, now get this. I haven't even left the parking lot. And I have hundreds of samples. Hundreds of samples. Snake heads, bird heads, full body birds, full bodied snakes, full bodied frogs, frog heads, turtle heads, giant toes, monster heads. I have lion men heads. I have rock biter heads. I have I I have I think it's a giant finger, and it has a panfish that laid on it when it died, that it looks like a tattoo kind of, but it looks like a giraffe-headed panfish, pipefish, which you'd have to look it up. They have a specific fin, they have a specific body type, they're long, they look like an eel, but it's like a seahorse, but it's called a pipefish. Uh, and I have, what else do I have? And some of the heads, and even some of the groups on Facebook that I'm in, they have jewelry on, like necklaces. They have hoods. They have things with tassels. They have, like the fairy I have has a, you can see the hair and the chiseled face. And then in this other group, this guy found a fairy as well, and I believe it's a rider, because you can see the face of the creature it's riding or was riding, but then you can see the complete laurel headband that goes around the head of the fairy, mythological fairy stone. Okay, now also know this. Okay, let me get off of this thing right here. I'll have to come back. This is like, there's just so much to talk about. I'm sorry I was just sitting there on one screen forever, but it kind of makes you look at stuff a little bit different. Like this one is interesting. Okay, see, like it's super dark red here, and it's a lot of things are crustaceous looking. I found one thing that looks like lobster pincers, and I keep wondering why the shadows are all the same direction. Okay, let's go back over here. Right in here. This is really, really red. I've found some places that it looks like blood is coming out of the side of mountains. I wonder if, I wish I could find that one card. Let me see if I can find it. It is, I wonder if I should just, oh, that doesn't matter. There is snake, serpent lines, and the dragon serpent. Yeah, I'll get on that another time. Let's go look at, I want to talk about a few things and get it out there, and let's see how quick they remove me off of these channels. Let me take you over here. Just look under the ocean. I found giant snails. They're making patterns under the ocean. Okay, look at this. Look at all these patterns. See all these patterns? See, they're all going through and everything. I just wonder if I should go and investigate and see what like snail colonies look like, tiny snail colonies. Because the ones that I found out here, y'all, let me show you. Okay, so let's look real quick. Here is normal sea bottom. Supposedly. Okay. Over here is the blanketed seafloor. This is the stuff they really don't want you to see. Okay. But if you notice from this texture looking to this texture looking, okay, let's go in a little closer. Now you start seeing lines here and see where it's blurred again. Okay, clear, blurred, clear, blurred, clear, blurred, clear, blurred. Now look at this right here. Whoa, that's interesting. What does that look like? Oh, what's this over here? A straight line under the ocean? Oh, that's interesting. Let's look at that. Oh, look here. Oh, that's interesting too. Look at that. I wonder what's going on over here. Oh, and look at this. Look at this. This thing. Okay, let me show you the size of this thing right here. Okay, there's a measuring tool on this thing here. Let me move that over. So let's go feet, just so you can get an idea. So we're going to start at the very tippy top. Now we see the shadow. Okay, so the very tippy top shadow. We're going to start at the very tippy top, and we'll go to the base of the shadow. Okay, to me, as an artist, it looks like a sculpture on top of a platform or a temple or something like that. Okay, so here's the top of the shadow, the first top of the shadow that I see. Okay, 21,752 feet tall. Okay, 21. Okay, so if that's that, let's see how many miles that is. That's 4 miles high. From the ground. Now, that statue itself may not be that size, but now I'm going to the base of the shadow. So the base of the platform of the building structure, okay, there's the base. And it could even possibly be here, even further. It could be 5 miles. But from the base to the top, and the reason I say this is the top, because this is the brightest. I'm an artist. You look at the highest intensity of light versus the highest intensity of dark. Okay, that's here. So that would be the very top of the structure. Okay, 4 miles from the top of the structure to the base of the structure. And I'm not even sure if that's the base of the structure. And not only could it be that, but it could be this whole thing here. And if that's the case, what the hell is that? Okay? This is the kind of stuff that I'm seeing, y'all. And it's insane. Until I came here in this area, what I'm about ready to show you, I had never seen anywhere in the ocean anything like this. And I thought it was really strange, and I started looking at it. I'm like, what the hell is that? Why is there a pattern on the ocean floor? Like something went across it. I mean, I know water does, and water flows interestingly. Fresh water runs below the ocean water, blah, blah, blah. But when you get into things that I can't even begin to explain what this means. That right there looks like a dragon head to me. Okay. These look like entrances. Okay, you got an obvious in or out. In or out. And there's obviously things here going on. You have different colored. Okay, and this is where I'm telling people that I'm sorry, this is not geological, it's not biological. This is made things. These are buildings. Okay? And I don't know what the hell's going on in this part of the ocean. Now, this is by Brazil, if I'm not mistaken. No, this is. Oh, wow, I just found something else. I find stuff every time I look. Okay, this is over on in between North America and South America. Okay? Oh my God. Is this over by frickin' Epstein Island? Oh my God. I. This is like really creepy. Now look at this here. This is another creepy shit stuff that's popping up. Look at that. Looks like frickin' Braille. What the hell is that? Is that people? Listen, you guys, I'm not kidding when I say that from observing the ocean bottom from 2015 until today, the buildings that I'm finding has increased probably 900%. At least. At least. Okay, so let's go let's just go right over here real quick. Let's just go by this little thing over here. Then we'll go back to the nails, I promise. But I'm trying an idea of what they're showing, what they're not showing. And if they can show, why are we in space? That's basically my question. Why are we in space when we have the ocean we can't see? And biblically, the bottom of the ocean is hell. And they don't want to tell us that either. But I can tell you from the things that I'm finding in the ocean and the size that they are, y'all, not even surprised that it's literally hell. Okay, so here you see just like striations. You don't see really anything like a pattern or design or anything. You just see like scratches, just different stuff. I mean, it could be water flow. There isn't anything like semblance of order or anything like that. Okay? So, and then you just have basic weird stuff. Then you have your we can see everything clear here because now we're, on the top of the land. Maybe it's because we don't have dominion over the waters. I mean, and look at this. Look how tall that is. Let's go back. Let's look at this one real quick. Okay? Let's go to see the tippy top light. So it's bridging these other mountain range here to the tippy top. So let's go to the tippy top there. And we'll go to the base. 4.62 miles. Okay? And the fact that they're blurring everything should tell us everything. And that is kind of what I've gone on this whole time I've been looking. But what I do is I go, like they have all this open, and I found machines that they roll that make these tracks too, and I'll show you those too. But what I do is when I'm hunting around, I go on the fringes of these trails, and then I kind of go off from there because I'll encounter something that's kind of clear, so I'll go in a little deeper. Because for whatever reason, and a lot of times if we don't see it now when I'm looking at it and showing it to you right now, when we come back and try and find it again, it'll be blurry. Okay, it's just, there's too many things that a cannot be organic. It cannot be coral growing. It could be coral growing on something, but something that already exists. Okay, so see how different? I mean, there is some type of a pattern here, which I'm thinking the way that looks, that's more snaky because it's got diamond patterns. So that's skin and it's kind of bumpy. So that's like giant skin. So I'm thinking, okay, well, that's giant skin. Okay, so now let's go back to the snails again. And let me show you a snail. Okay, so here we are back at the patterns again. Okay, so we have all these patterns, and I'm like looking around, and I see these spots where there's a little bit of wavy within itself. So I kind of went in deeper and I looked at that. So this is what I found. And if you know what a snail looks like, if you picked up enough shells on the ocean, along the ocean, then you'll know what a spiral shell looks like. And that's what I believe that these are, is the spiral shell snails. But here is the snail that's making these patterns. One of the snails. Okay. And I don't know if they're organic. I don't know if they're a machine. I don't know that part. Okay. Now we could be looking at machines, and this could be machine parts, like these trails. This could be all metal. I don't know what's here. I'm going by my observation of knowing ocean floor should look like. And it's like, really, what does the ocean floor actually look like? We've obviously got 5 miles deep in some places, just regular ocean floor bottom with mountains all over the place. But let me show you how long. I mean, look at that. When you go in and you look at this stuff, and I know that the digital pixelation messes things up and stuff like that, but he still hasn't. Weird. It's still, that's so mechanical looking now to me versus that one, which really looks organic because it's like, looks like the shape of a slug with a little shell on the top. It's got the shadow. Okay, so let me show you how big this one is right here. I'm going to leave it on miles because if I leave it on feet, it's going to be too big. You won't understand. Oops. It's 1.5 miles long. 1.5 miles long. And that's just one snail. Okay. That's one. That's one. There's one, maybe a smaller one, smaller one. Here's a few over in this little section here. And you can see them. And like I said, I don't know if it's mechanical, if it's biological. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I'm just showing you what I'm finding because it's some creepy shit. And like, look at this. Okay, look at this one. This is the shit that drives me crazy, you all. I have played so many video games and I have seen so many pictures and I have had to study so many images in art and I've had to look at people when they're posing for drawing and I've looked at buildings and had to do drawings of buildings and stuff like that. Okay? Now, when you see, this drives me crazy. To me, this right here looks like a freaking table with chairs around it and people sitting in those chairs. This guy right here, I don't know what the hell that is. Look at that. I mean, there's things that when you study the human anatomy and you study animal anatomy and the way that the shoulder looks on to attaches to the neck and the way the bottom of the skull goes and if it's turned to the right and it's the bottom of the neck or the way the hip um, changes a depth of curve because the leg is lifted or outstretched or the foot is extended and the toe is point. These are the things that you look at when you're an artist, and I can't help but see all this crap when I'm looking under the ocean. And if we're living in a world that they've lied to us about everything, then I'm taking everything literal and serious, reading the Bible even more so now than I ever did before, because I can't explain to you why from 2015 to 2021 that there has been an increase of population under our ocean and nobody's talking about it. Now, I don't know who these people are. I don't know if they're Rothium or if they're the reptile people. There's so much going on, y'all, that they've lied to us about so much that you would be surprised that reality isn't reality, but all the conspiracy theories are real. It's a time of research your own information. You can't just look at something and go, "Oh, I don't believe that." You can't do that anymore. You have to look at it, listen to it, and go, "Okay, let me research that a little bit," because y'all will be surprised what you'll find if you really start looking. Now, let's get back to this table here. There's so much I can show you. I also found a crab. Let me see if I can find the crab. I mean, I have a huge, it's like 3 miles long. That was one of the latest ones I found, though. I found a gateway. I found an archway. I can hear the cat upstairs. He either wants food or he wants to go out. Doorway or portal? Let's go look at that. Oh, here's the giant crab right here. Ah, that's funny. Okay, let's go at that. Here we go. Whee! Okay. Okay, you can like this one. It is right here. And if you notice the way that these lines are going and the way that these lines are going, they don't match. Oh, you ready to go out? I told you had to pick it earlier. I can't do it right now. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry you gotta wait, buddy. I love you. Okay. Okay, so let's go in a little closer. Now, I was just messing around here. I was just looking around just because it's like these are the places that I kind of look at to see what's going on. And I saw this because it was out of place. Puzzle piece that's been taken up and tilted a little bit. So I'm like, what the hell is that? So I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh my God, that's a crab. Look at the pinchers. See the pinchers? Look at the pinchers. Look at that. It's a freaking crab. Okay? That is a crab. Shadows. Hello. See the shadow? Ooh, shadow. Crab. Pincher. Pincher. Crab face. Crab body. Crab. Crab. Giant crab. Okay. You want to see how big it is? Oh, no. Let's look and see how big one of the pinchers is. You ready? Okay, well, you want me to stay on Miles? Should I stay on Miles? Should I stay on Miles? I think I should stay on Miles. Here we go. Okay, let's do a pincher. Tip of the pincher. See the shadow? Right there. Let's go right there. And that's not even all the way. Let's just go to where the shadow ends. Because you know the thing would go around the corner here. The whole arm. 1.35 miles long. Pincher. We would be like a flea. A sand flea. Okay. So now, since we know that each pincher is 1.5 miles long, let's look and see how big the body is. You ready? Okay, so let's go to the edge of the body. Oh, look at that. 2.07 miles. Miles. Hello. Miles. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about, y'all. This is the kind of stuff I'm finding. It's ginormous stuff. And you can even notice, like, if you start looking, you'll notice that things are just not right. That's a window or an opening. See that hole right there? Look at that. And when I'm looking under the ocean and some of the stuff looks like buildings, you'll notice that you'll see the freaking lights on, shining through the windows and the doorways. I am not shitting you guys. Seriously. And you'll see here, like here's a good example. You have shadows, and then you have things that are obviously organic. We can see the curves, we can see the organicness of it. But then you look at things like right here that looks like a cylinder and a shadow. Okay? Or you go over here and it looks like a building. Okay? It doesn't have round organic. This is because the shadow, whatever that is. And what the hell is that? Looks like Yoda's head. You know? Let's see if I can find something else here. Just the fringes of stuff. I mean, stuff like this is very strange to me, especially when you see holes in the sides of them. Like, what the hell is that? Wah, 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 wah. I've even seen some stuff that looks like, Skyrim stuff. Things like that. I do enough gaming and watch my son game with games that I don't play, that he plays, to get a wide range of visual input. Here's another thing. Okay, look with your eyes, open your eyes. Okay, these things here, like that right there, looks like, and I mean, I know it's not an animal, but it could be a statue of an animal head or a creature. Same with this here, could be an eagle head or something like that. But you can tell this is structure. This is not coral. Straight up, cylindrical tubes? No. No. It's not biological. Okay? Let's look, and just little stuff like that. Here. See right here? See that little thing? Let's go in and look at that. I don't even know what it is. I've never seen it before. Let's go in and look. You would think it's a crater. Okay? I don't think they're craters. I think they're either something that they've built or it's an explosion that they've. No, there's something in there. See, this is another thing. You look at these even like this. It's obviously a hole. Shadows on one side. But look at this. Okay. It's a mountain, but it's not a mountain because it's got a square on the top. So these are things that I notice, okay? And you don't notice. See, I thought it was like something deep when in fact it's something tall because we're at the top here. But again, what's square on the top of the mountain? Buildings. Look how big that is. Okay, so let's go. I just have a little bit more. Oh, you want to see something real interesting? Let's go back to Antarctica. I'll show you the bottom of the firmament where it talks about in the Bible. Check this shit out. Look at this. Think that's organic? Does that look organic to you? That looks like it is set upon things. It's like, I don't even know how to explain that. Okay? That is so gamey to me. I can't even begin to explain. But what's interesting about this, and I have to go back, and I'm not even sure if I can find it. I'll bring it up in another video, or I'll put a link to it later. But what's very interesting about when I found this, I hadn't seen anybody else talk about it, so I just kind of, noted it and went back to it a few times. But then I was looking at a map, and I don't even remember which map it was. I'll find it, and I'll bring it up, and then I'll bring the two together. But it shows this very thing on the map. And the fact that it shows that on an ancient map, how would it be seen? How would it be seen from the air on an ancient map through the water without knowing? So these are things that I find very interesting that I question, and I keep questioning and questioning and questioning. And if I were to try to prove the world was flat, I start in Antarctica. And the reason that I say that is because everything in the Bible talks about not a flat, I don't even know how to explain it, but if you were to unwind Antarctica, it would completely go around all of South America. It would go all the way around all of the west coast of North America. It would probably butt right up next to Hawaii and then loop around and go by and I don't even know what's over here. On the I think it's the west or the east side of Australia. And then it would encompass around the bottom of Australia and then the bottom of Africa and then connect again. It's very strange, and the reason I think it might be flat, and I'm only going by the Bible, and I haven't even looked at that, so I don't know. But if the way that I find things on Antarctica and the way the shadows run and the way that it's set up with the ice walls and stuff like that, it would seriously be an unwinding. I'm going to make some drawings and see if I can't expand them out and maybe put some pins in them so I can open it up. Like I'll bring it all together and I'll cut it up and then I'll open it all up and see. Because it's very interesting to see how that we can't bridge Antarctica. There's no fly areas that we can't fly. And if we are actually in a dome, that would make sense. You wouldn't be able to. There's a wall. There's a big, huge ice wall that they can't pass, because that's what reaches up to the dome or whatever. So there's lots of things that's going on, y'all. And I suggest spending a little time on. I mean, even if it's not all true what we're seeing on Google Earth, some of these things are, and we can't help but say something about it. Like there's a dragon head, eyeball, horn, right cheek, going towards the mouth here, whiskers. Okay, then you go over here, and here's Australia. Oh, there's a big fat bear. Okay, big fat bear, Kodiak bear, whatever. There's the ear, there's the nose, there's the eye, there's the bear, there's the arm, there's the leg. Okay, then you go over here. I don't even know what the hell that is. Then you go over here, and you got a dragon over here that encompasses 900 miles in Morocco. Then you got a giant fish here. Then if you go over here to Libya, where's my doodad? You got a dragon lizard embryo. Got some weird shit going on, people. It's like this thing right here. Okay, this is land, y'all. This is land. Okay? This is Libya. Okay? This is Libya. Now, this thing right here, when I started watching this in 2015, this thing right here was over here. Or here. And you can see where it's traveled. Over here. Oh, what the hell is that? That's new. This stuff coming out here, that's new. If that shit grows out closer to that and that hooks up to that, y'all, we're in trouble. To me, that looks like an elephant. Does that not look like an elephant trunk? Eye, elephant ear? Or maybe I don't even know anymore, y'all. There's so much creepy, weird shit going on. But this one, I hadn't really spent any time looking at anything other than this. But I went in the other day and I was looking at this one. And it was creepy. And, once again, you cook, you see things when you're making eggs. You see things when you're doing investigating anatomy, things like that. But this stuff is just flat out freaking creepy shit. Okay? That looks like an eye. It's just creepy stuff. And this looks like, I don't even know what that looks like. Is that skin? Are they scales? Is it, what the hell is it? But this, okay, let me spin this around. This looks like a neck. And this looks like a head. But that ain't looking like no head of anything I ever saw. But it also looks like a tail. And this, like I said, there's so much creepy shit, y'all. Okay, now check this one out. This is something like I feel like I'm looking at what's the guy with the floppy flocks? I'm supposed to be an art major and I can't even remember that guy's name. He's one of my favorites, but he's weird. Anyways, this kind of reminds me of that because of this type of a landscape. He had some really strange landscapes. But when I go in and I look at this, y'all, I have a great imagination, but once again, I'm back to the human anatomy. When you see things and you've looked at them so many times for so many hours in one sitting, you can't help but see stuff. Okay? When I go in and look at this, okay, now so take this, let's look and see how big this area is. Let's just go feet. Okay. Let's just go a little bit here. Just a little bit. Okay, so 13 feet. Let's clear that one. Let's go. I think, I just don't know. And it's just creepy. So let's just go one. Okay, so 11 feet. So we'll give that the benefit of the doubt of being human size. This all here looks like bodies, especially the red part. And what I don't understand is all this colored stuff because we're in the desert. Okay. And here's another structure. So we see the shadow. Okay. So what the hell is that? Too many questions, not enough answers. And even if I put the layers up, what are we going to see? Not much difference. Okay. What's interesting about this particular area, let's go in and look at this. Let's see. Look at this. This is what it looks like. Okay. And it's very interesting that they don't show anything further than back that way. They only show you what's like right up visible. Okay. So we're looking at green. We're looking at dead. So what I find interesting is, I don't want that. Back to Google Earth. So let's go in here and look at this thing. Let's see. Oh, they've got lots of pictures up here. Let's look and see what that is. What that implies. Okay, see, look at that. So if it's like what I'm thinking it is possibly an island floating in the desert. And I can't even begin to tell you how stupid that sounds. But looking at that and this, and knowing that that was over here, yeah, buddy, soon, that, you know what I'm saying? I just, look at that. I can't even, and it's just fascinating. It's just fascinating because all this stuff is going on in the desert. right? Look at that. That's a freaking lake. It's like a floating island with lakes on it. It's like a floating island in the middle of the desert with lakes on top. And look here. Look here. There's a range. There's a. What the hell? Okay, this is interesting. This just got a whole other level of interesting to me. Let's look out here again. Now I wonder if that's looking in at the floating mountain. I believe it is. Because here's the ridge we were just looking at, and it surrounds. But there's a mountain in the middle, and it's a moving mountain with lakes around it. What the hell is this, you guys? Let's look here. No, that's well made. Let's look in the very middle. See? We're in a bowl. This is a bowl. This is. Wait a minute. Let me look at this again. This is the bowl. This is the bowl. How is that possible? How is that? So let me look here. It's in a bowl. And that bowl, this is. The island is in the middle. Roger Spur talks about this a lot. And he talks about, like, this is called the Blood Lake. I don't even, oh shit. Okay, see, we just changed levels now. That's creepy as shit. There's a head, ear, eye. Yeah, it's a bull. So that must have been. Okay, here we are again. Seeing structures. There's a building. There's a building. I know this is like, whatever, but still, let's see what that says. Extinct. But they built buildings inside of an extinct volcano. Okay, whatever. Okay, I think I'm going to end there. I think I'm given enough information. I may have to do this one again because they probably turn me off because of my videos in the beginning. But this stuff is very, very, very interesting. I want to see what that looks like. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. Look at that. What the hell is going on here? It's like a moving oasis. I just wonder if that seems like that's a story. It's all the same picture. Why is it all the same picture? That's very odd. Let's look at that one. Oh, just so y'all know, federal law allows citizens to reproduce, dis- distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's close out that. We'll finish that out. We'll end share screen. Okay. Let's go. Let me go into my other brand and I'll show you a couple pictures. Here is a parrot head that I found. Eye, beak, nose, top, feather, thingamajiggy. And you can see, if you look closely, the pupil. Duck head, eye, beak, nose. Part of the bottom of the bill is broken off. You can see it here. And a little bit of feathers here. And when you go in close, you can see the feathers here. Okay. Here's that pipefish I was telling you about. I have to do some lighting issues on this, but here's the head, eye, like the back, like the mane, whatever it was. But as it goes down the side here, and I'll have other pictures later, you can see the tail fin, the one tail fin that pipefish have. Now this next one is a monster head. I don't think it's human, although it looks very human. We have a mouth, we have a nose, cheeks. Now these are mud fossils. They're going to be in all different types of positions. You may see some features, you may not see features. That's more than likely an eye. That's why I say it's a creature versus a human. This one's definitely creepy. And I went back to find this one and I couldn't find it. But you can see the mouth, the nose, the eye, the skull, and the mud fossil, where it lays in the water, sand, mud, whatever it's laying in, has a flat bottom that's weird looking, like just a bunch of goo together is what it looks like. So this would be like the left side of the face as it was laying of this creature. The left side of the face would be laying on the ground, and this is what was on top. Okay, so that's how come you can see the features so well. But this one was really weird because until I started messing around and turning it around, I didn't see it. And then I'm like, oh, I got to take a picture of that one. Now this one I've gotten a couple of interesting comments about. One person said they think it's a turtle because it looks like a turtle claw, turtle foot. But I don't think it is. I don't know what it is. I'm okay with the turtle, but this is a tongue. All the mud fossils were squished by the weight of the water and the soils that they were buried in. Okay, a lot of the things that I find, the tongues, even the snakes, the tongues they're sticking out. They're all hanging out. So that's definitely a tongue, but a lot of the creatures have their hands, their heads, their hands and their paws or their claw, whatever, up by their faces when they die. So this just could be really anything, but I just found it very kind of caricature because in some cases, I'm sorry, but these human eating Nephilim creature, whatever they are. Um, I'm not finding humans. Okay. When God said that they covered the earth, he wasn't kidding. Now again, I'm right back to see where I'm standing on the sidewalk. I haven't left the parking lot. I haven't even gone out into the wild yet, y'all. I haven't even gone out into the wild yet. 2015. I have found all my fossils in parking lots, along sidewalks and businesses where they have filled in with river rock, supposedly river rock. But I'll tell you what I want to find out is I want to go up to the local quarries and talk to some of the people up at the local quarries, because I bet you 10 to 1 they got some massive stories for me. All the heads and things that they found. Okay, here's a snake head. And this one's super clear. You can tell it's a snake head. Look at that eye. And a lot of them, you know that pinched, pursed mouth that snakes have where the tongue comes out? Of course they open it, but when they have that twisted little puckered place where when I find these heads, you can see those. If the tongue's not out, you can see the puckered, where in relationship to the mouth versus the eye versus the nose versus the curve in the neck, that kind of thing. So I'm looking at a lot of stuff when I'm evaluating these things, y'all. Basically, mud fossils are perfectly preserved, mineralized, now stone, soft tissue due to continuous wet anaerobic mud-packed conditions. Okay. Months in wet seawater. And people have, like Roger Spur, have done tests of this and turn chicken flesh into stone. So with just the right conditions, which is seawater, flesh, and electricity. So yeah, I give you something to think about. And also something to think about, what if mythology becomes history overnight? That's something to think about. A lot of things that I'm noticing now is I'm finding whole bodies. This is a bird. I don't know what kind of bird. I don't care what kind of bird. But I know it's a bird because here's the head, there's the beak, there's the eye, there's the bridge of the nose. And in the death pose, this is a very common pose. I find so many every day. Probably, if I took the time, I could find 10 to 20 of these in an hour. No problem. In just one location. Okay? No problem at all. No problem at all. Here is a giant finger. Tip of a giant finger. Well, mostly the portion of a giant finger. I would say the hand was here. And then there's the first knuckle. And there's the next one. Okay. I haven't looked at it close enough to tell you whether or not I can find fingerprints. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. Just depends. Okay, so let's go to Antarctica, and I'll show you the map that they talk about in the Bible, and why I think that this cusp here of the wall would be Antarctica stretched out. Just for a lot of reasons. And I haven't studied this map enough yet to be able to tell you exactly yet, but I just find it interesting because a lot of this stuff they just haven't, told us anything about. And the other thing about Antarctica is there's something going on. Obviously, we know when they made the treaty in 1952, I think, or something like that. It may have been a couple of years before that, or maybe later, but they made a treaty, and the treaty ends in 2050. But what everybody's talking about that's going on down there is they've got underground bunkers, they've got underground nuclear. They've got, they've proven that they've gone underground and seen that the temperature underground is like 0.6, or it's like 68 degrees. Okay. So there's grass growing down there. There's waterfalls. There's lakes. There's so many lakes underneath the ice. I would not be surprised if there's a complete city. And you have to think about how big this is. But it's linear versus continental. If that makes any sense. Which it's like you could fly, and they won't tell you this. It's like you would fly forever along the edge of Antarctica, but it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. And another tidbit on this: since 1969, over 10,000 meteorites have been collected from Antarctica. Also in Greenland, they fall in Greenland, and looking at the net maps for the satellites that revolve around our planet or our dome or whatever it is we have, they show the gaps on both North Pole and South Pole as not having any satellites going around the two continents in completion. I mean, the entire encompass of the continent around it, there is no satellites that bridge it, but meteorites come through. Okay. And meteorites, and it's like, and meteorites are body parts. And we've done research. Roger Spur has done research, has DNA tested, has scientifically tested proof in his hands. He sent stuff off, got it evaluated, they sent it back, they gave him the information. This is 99% human DNA, 1% we don't know, equals Nephilim. Okay? So, yeah, y'all, research. Do some research and have some fun. You know? Maybe I put that over here. Yeah, I'll come back another time. I just want to thank you all. Remove. For joining me. If anybody join me. And I will be back. I will be back soon. And thanks so much for joining me. Take care, everyone.